Live, Cam. Yes, we're live. Hi, everybody. Good morning. Today's Tuesday, May 25th. I'm Jill Simonian from PragerU Kids. If you have not subscribed for free yet, parents, PragerUkids.com, everything you need for kindergarten through 12th graders to nourish your child's minds and educate them about what many schools are not educating them about. So let's jump into it. The headlines. We have some crazy headlines this morning, as we always have. Once a week, I hop on Facebook and YouTube here to say hello and alert you about what is happening in education so that parents and good teachers, because we know that good teachers are out there, so that all of you can be informed to stay engaged and active in your local schools. I'm going to follow along here on Facebook, as I usually try to do, sometimes effectively, sometimes ineffectively. So tell me where you are from. Tell me if you are in California, like we are in the belly of the beast, or if you are elsewhere. Today, we're going to be talking about New Jersey. We're also going to be talking about Beverly Hills School District. So let's start. Our first alert headline that we have for you happening in education today: the lowering of standards in New Jersey. Now, I'm sure many of you will argue, hey, they're lowering standards all across the country, Jill, get with it. And yes, I know you're probably right. But today I want to take a look at an article that the 74million.org put out. Let me see. It was, let me close this up. Hold on. Let's take a look at this article that the 74 put out last week. Former New Jersey education chief says that lowering passing scores on state tests is a parlor trick, fun word, that hurts kids. So basically, the 74 is reporting that only 39% of high schoolers would be graduation ready under previous education standards. Think about that for a moment. Again, we are talking about New Jersey, but I know that this, in fact, probably does permeate across the country as well. The New Jersey Board of Education recently decided by a one-vote margin, people, to lower the minimum passing score on the state's high school graduation test. And we have the link pulled up here if you are looking and viewing along with us. Under the prior passing score, 39% of students would be graduation ready in reading and 49.5% in math. But with the reduced standards, that number rises to 80% of students passing in reading and 55% passing for math. And that is the little parlor trick that the headline of this article really describes. So I want to hear what you think about this, because my initial gut reaction as a parent is, don't we want our kids to be educated and capable to live and work in America anymore? We talk about lowering standards here on the PragerU Kids team quite frequently, and it is one of the problems in our education system that is really fueling us to create shows and resources to raise that academic standard so that our children can be knowledgeable, can be informed, can be educated about history and the current world around them. I want to scroll this article a little bit. Right here, it says, for decades, no matter whether Democrats or Republicans were in charge, our elected officials have agreed that the state should set high standards for academic achievement. Again, this is in New Jersey. Standards that correlate with being truly prepared for success in life. And the decision, that one vote margin that I spoke about earlier, where the Board of Education decided to lower the standards, that decision represents a stunning abandonment of that principle that we should be teaching our children to be capable, to be knowledgeable, and to be prepared for life. Something else that this article in the 74 really touches on is the concept of equity. I know that we've all talked about equity before. Equity is not equality, right? Right? We remember equity means equal outcomes. And I have frequently talked about the problem when school districts, or in this case, the state of New Jersey, sets goals for equity, because the standards do not maintain or rise to pull the lower performing students up, the standards in fact fall, right? Which undermines everything that an educational institution should be aiming to do. So this article points out it undermines the critical goal of equity. And one board member who supported lowering the passing score suggested that it was unfair to Black and Latino students to require underperforming students to demonstrate a higher level of proficiency in reading and math before graduating. And this gets it totally backwards. I mean, every student, regardless of what color skin, your economic background, where you live, where you come from, what your family situation is, every student should be expected to rise to a decent academic standard so that they could be launched into adulthood, set up for success. That should be the primary goal for all of our schools. I don't care what school you are or where you are. So tell me if you're in New Jersey, first of all. Tell me if you're in New Jersey, if you've experienced this firsthand, if you've noticed a decline in what is happening in your community. I want to check in with the comments right here just to see if people are. Great info here. Thank you. We're getting dumb to dumber world. Yeah, we are. We are getting dumber. We are getting dumber. Let's see. Carrie says, even with lower standards, Baltimore passed only a small percentage of seniors, of which no one had competency in math. Reducing standards is pure crap, but make sure we push sex ed on grade school students. It's sure a clown world. Carrie, thank you for this comment. I appreciate your candor. It's always fun to read colorful words and comments from others. I couldn't agree with you more. And Carrie, your comment actually serves as a unofficial segue into what I'm going to be talking about next here, which is the sex ed curriculum in California, specifically that is being administered to fifth grade students now in Beverly Hills Unified School District. And we'll talk about that later. But another fun fact about lowering standards that I just want to touch on. I actually was on Fox News, I think it was 2 weeks ago, talking about these lowering of academic standards when it came to teaching children civics and history. Okay, so I want to go to another article now discussing the nation's report card. 8th grade civics and history test scores plummet after COVID-19. Now, of course, the Washington Examiner can cite COVID-19 as the blame. I personally don't cite COVID-19 as the blame. I place blame on our education system that continues to fail our kids. Let's go ahead and just take a look at this. Again, the headline is 8th grade civics and history test scores plummet. So this article here, Washington Examiner, talks about students in the 8th grade are doing worse in U.S. history and civics than they were in 2018. And this, of course, heightens concerns about learning loss. And this is all according to data from the National Assessment of Educational Progress that was released a few weeks ago now. So what's happening in a nutshell that this article describes is something very disturbing for all of us, no matter if you have children in school or if you don't. Take a big breath while I say this. 13% of 8th graders scored at or above the proficient level. That doesn't mean an A, that doesn't mean a B. That means proficient level for the National Assessment of Educational Progress. And 13% of 8th graders in 2022 could explain important milestones, people, or events in American history. 13% of 8th graders understand American history basics, American history events, significant historical figures, their significance, who they were, what they did, why it's important to us. And this also includes, because it is civics, and this includes knowing our rights. This includes our basic founding documents, like the Declaration of Independence, like the Constitution, like the Bill of Rights. Only 13% of 8th graders were proficient in this national assessment of how many students across the country really know American history and who we are and what our rights are as people. That is terrifying, right? Terrifying. I don't know another word for it. All I can think of is a future of, again, uninformed young people, and eventually, let's not forget, uninformed and uneducated parents for the future of our country. That is scary. We should all be, I am very, very scared. I'm seeing a lot of shocked emojis coming through, a lot of crying emojis coming through in the comments. I'm right with you. I am right with you. Let me see. Another comment before I go on to the Beverly Hills sex ed. Andrew, I absolutely 100% agree. School standards need to get better, more education, less indoctrination. The sooner the better. Oh, he says both in the UK and in the United States. That's interesting. So let's see. Eric, when I graduated 6th grade in New Jersey, public school in 1962, I knew as much English grammar as the typical college student today with a degree in English. I don't disagree with you, Eric. Let's see, from Earl. I see it all the time. I'm a janitor in a grocery store in Glens Falls, New York, and I'm surprised at how much kids don't know how to count money or do simple tasks at work. Yes, thank you. That's another good point, Earl. That is another point. We're not only talking about an educated youth for an educated nation to go on and be doctors or lawyers or, very, very high professional degrees. We are talking about the fabric of our country, the good people who work, the jobs that keep our country moving in stores, in retail, in coffee shops, okay, right? We've talked about this before, where the workforce is completely oblivious to having any kind of common sense or knowledge, because our education system is dumbing us down further and further and further, and it's from lowering standards, and it is terrifying. So that is the alert that we have. First round for this Facebook and YouTube live today, not to be doom and gloom, but we, again, firmly believe that the more we are informed as parents, the more we understand the current data, statistics, the current happenings, and the realities about what's going on. About 13% of 8th graders are proficient in American history on a basic level. The more we know that New Jersey, the state of New Jersey, amongst other states, I'm sure, is lowering standards so that only, half of their students, are able to get by without having true knowledge in math or reading. That's information that we need to know so that it can motivate us as parents and teachers and taxpaying community members, also, by the way, to stay on top of our school districts and demand that the standards are not lowered for our youth, for our country. Okay, let's go ahead now and jump to something else that tends to get people riled up. Sex ed, okay? Raise your hand in the comments if you get riled up by current sex ed happening in our schools. I have a feeling I'm getting a lot of laughing emojis and I'm getting a lot of angry emojis. So yeah, those are kind of the emotions that I was predicting would come through here. So another alert in education. Sex ed in California. It is no secret that California is the most progressive when it comes to teaching our children gender identity, gender ideology, all of these things inside of sexual education lessons in our classrooms as young as 5th grade. Recently, a parent sent me something from the Beverly Hills Unified School District. Let's see, we got technical difficulties. What's happening? Plug my computer back in. That is what is happening. All right, when you're live, you roll with the punches. How's this, Cam, on the tech side? Did it work? Did it work? Okay, I don't want to lose these good people in the audience. Are you there? Yes, you're still there. I still see the angry and shocked emojis coming through. Okay, so let's back it up. Another alert in education that gets people riled up is, of course, sex ed. It is no secret that California is the hotbed of radicalized sexual education inside of our schools, including gender identity, all sorts of gender ideology. You name it, California is trying to push it onto our young students as young as fifth grade. Fifth grade in California is when students start receiving what the state of California deems as the Healthy Youth Act, right? A very lovely sounding title for a very radicalized sexual education agenda. So a parent sent me something from the Beverly Hills Unified School District, okay? And I'm going to show it to you right now. This parent sent me this in an email form. I cut and pasted it word for word inside of a document here to keep the anonymity of this parent private because that matters. Email from Assistant Superintendent. We have come to the time of year when we are required to address growth, development, and sexual health instruction. To accomplish this in compliance with state education code, again, this is California, the district has designed policies, activities, and curricula to develop health literacy in our students. At the end of May, fifth grade students will receive instruction in growth, development, and sexual health. So this is essentially happening now, as today, the date of this live is May 25th. So this curriculum supports families in teaching young people medically accurate terminology about human anatomy, the growth and development of the human body during puberty. I don't disagree with any of that. To me, as a parent of children who have already gone through this fifth grade age bracket, I don't see this as unreasonable at all. We have sexual development, reproductive health, pregnancy, HIV virus, sexually transmitted diseases. These are all important conversations that need to be had with kids. I will go so far to say that I do believe, of course, reasonably, that it is the duty of the parents to lead these discussions and to direct the education and upbringing of our children in partnership with schools. The thing that will raise a lot of red flags with many of you is included in this bullet list that Beverly Hills Unified will teach is, of course, definitions of LGBTQIA. So there are, and I'm actually just noticing this now, the I and the A, I don't, I'm not laughing, but I don't know what the I and the A stands for. That's new. Maybe I'm not up to date on my terminology lately, but Beverly Hills Unified will be teaching this. So again, the instruction will reflect the standards of the California Healthy Youth Act, Education Code sections 51930, etc. in sequence. So here's what the Beverly Hills Unified District emphasized here in bold. We encourage all students to participate in the Growth, Development, and Sexual Health Unit of Instruction. Please complete the form to indicate your consent. So what I do like about this is that they are, in fact, no matter what you think about the Healthy Youth Act, no matter what you think about any of this in classrooms at all, we all have a right to our diversity of opinion, but no matter what you think about this, I appreciate that they are sending this to parents ahead of time, saying, please complete this form to indicate your consent. The district's email here then includes all and this is more than you'll get from many other districts, by the way. I can say that as a former public school parent. Click here for a copy of California Education Code sections so that you can know exactly what the California Ed Code says. You can click here, says the email, to look for the materials for the growth, development, and sexual health curriculum. You can click here to view those. If you do not fill out the form, here's the catch. If you do not fill out the form, we are required by the state to opt your child into this program. There's the problem, right? Most of us California parents know this. There's the problem. And there's something that the reason why I bring this up is because in the California Ed Code, now let me see if I can find it. Here we go. I've clicked on the link, California Department of Education. If you're watching along, I want to scroll down to this area that says parent consent. Active consent, I'm highlighting it, requires that a parent or legal guardian be notified in writing and gives written permission for the student to participate in the survey. Okay, they're talking about delivering surveys here to students. Passive consent requires that a parent or legal guardian be notified in writing about the survey and is given the opportunity to review the survey. Parents need to notify the school if they do not want their children to participate in the survey. Passive consent is required for students in grades 7 through 12. So, to simplify this, active consent, it means that a parent must say, yes, it's okay for my child to do that. Passive consent means that the state and school is going to do it anyways, no matter if you read the email or not. And if you do not want your student to participate, you must write to them and specifically say, opt me out. Otherwise, they automatically opt you in. That is what I, as a mom, have a big problem with. And unfortunately, as we saw in this letter, the sex ed curriculum, which includes gender identity lessons, is a passive consent situation, which is not okay. So, in the Beverly Hills Unified School District email, it continues, where do I find my consent form? They give the information. Why are you teaching this? They explain. Has Beverly Hills Unified changed the information the program provides? They answer all these questions. It really does. I am not a parent in the Beverly Hills Unified School District, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because this email really provides many links to keep parents informed. It's almost as though I feel they're speaking a code with the parents like, hello, alert, here is what is in the law, here is what you have rights to, here is what you don't have rights to. How long has Beverly Hills been teaching this instruction? Since 2016. That's when the California Healthy Youth Act went into effect. I'm going to continue to scroll down. Affirmatively recognize different sexual orientations and be inclusive of same-sex relationships in discussions and examples. They're going to teach about gender expression, gender identity, and the harm of negative gender stereotypes. These things, if you're watching, are bolded in the email here because I want to bring them to your attention. And then at the end, this email concludes saying, and it is written by the Assistant Superintendent of Education Services. I did delete this person's name. You can look it up on your own because, again, a parent sent this to me. This is allegedly happening, and I want to be responsible in giving you the information. So, as the Assistant Superintendent of Education Services in Beverly Hills Unified writes in his or her email, so hold on. It is required by law that all growth, development, and sexual health instruction must include instruction about sexual orientations, affirmatively recognizing different sexual orientations, and be inclusive of same-sex relationships, gender expression, gender identity, and the harm of negative gender stereotypes. Yes, this is not under the purview of BHUSD. That is how the email concludes, basically saying, we don't necessarily drive this policy, but we are bound to delivering it according to California state law. And then the email concludes with, you may request a copy of the Education Code sections, listing all these sections regarding the California Healthy Youth Act from their school. So this particular email is really describing to parents, hey, here's what's happening. We are bound, we are obligated to do this. Be aware, be alert. I want to go now quickly to the 5th grade health document straight from Beverly Hills Unified School District. 5th grade human growth development and sexual health teaching materials. These are the teaching materials. And this link was included with the copy of the email that was forwarded to me by a parent. I am just scrolling through this quickly because I want to get to this part where they list the different types of videos that are likely to be shown in this 5th grade sexual health curriculum unit in Beverly Hills Unified. Many of these videos are from an organization called amaze.org. Those of you who have been following us, or those of you who even watched our documentary called Miseducated, that I incidentally hosted a couple of years ago, talked about Amaze videos. And I want to go to this Amaze video right now, just so you're informed, so that you can see the type of video that will likely be shown as part of the Beverly Hills Unified sex ed curriculum. This one is called What is Sexual Orientation LGBTQ? This is for the 5th grade. Let's take a listen. We're going to watch it. It's 2 minutes.
I never heard of this band. What kind of music do they do? Rock? So what is it, pop? So they do techno, progressive Balkan with a touch of metal? Never heard of that genre. Sexual orientation describes who you are attracted to, may fall in love with, and may have a sexual relationship with. Everyone has a sexual orientation, and there are different words to describe different sexual orientations. Many people are familiar with terms like heterosexual, gay, lesbian, and bisexual. But those aren't the only sexual orientations out there. For example, some people identify as pansexual, which means they are attracted to people of all genders. Many pansexual people feel that gender has little to do with their attractions. In other words, they are attracted to a person, not to that person's gender. Some people are asexual, sometimes called ace. Asexual people feel little or no sexual attraction to other people and have little or no interest in having sex or engaging in sexual behaviors. Many asexual people still feel romantic attraction. They feel love and affection, but may not feel sexual attraction. Demisexual people only feel sexual attraction when they have a strong romantic or emotional connection with a person.
Okay, I'm just going to stop it right there. Again, potentially for 5th grade. We saw in the last, 1 minute, pansexual, asexual, demisexual. I don't know about you, but I would never show this to my 11-year-old. It is not age appropriate. She's not developmentally ready for words like this and the meanings behind them, or shall I say fake words like this. I'm going to go so far as to say made up words like this. This is, again, from amaze.org, and amaze.org is part of the videos that are endorsed to be shown as part of the California Healthy Youth Act curriculum for sex ed, 5th grade through high school. Stay informed. Stay active. Again, what we just discussed was that most of these initiatives in schools are passive consent when it comes to allowing parents to consent and be informed about what their kids. That means if you don't happen to read the email that day that it's sent to you from the district, or if you don't send specific notification opting your child out, your child will automatically be opted in. So stay informed, stay alert. Our PragerU Kids Action Guide is on our website, prageru.com. In the search bar, search for Parent Action Guide. If you don't know where to start for staying informed about what is going on in your district, how to raise concerns, what the pecking order is, who you file grievances with first, how to file a Freedom of Information Act to understand what is happening specifically between teachers and administrators and outside consultants that they may or may not be bringing into your school to help usher in these radicalized programs. Check out our Parent Action Guide. It's a roadmap to get you started if you don't know where to start. This is free on our website. And I want to go back to the comments before I wrap it up here. Let me see. I'm scrolling. I'm reading. Parents sign the permission slips. Public schools were much better years ago in New Jersey and Bergen County. While you scream and holler and call them groomers at meetings where they are trying to get work done, you ungrateful morons. That's from Matthew. Thanks for your comment, Matthew. I may not support what you have to say, but I support your ability to say it. And I support our First Amendment allowing you to be able to voice what you think. So again, I don't agree with what you say, but I support your ability to say it. Okay, let's keep scrolling the comments. Oh, somebody said, Joseph, join PrEP, $25 a year. Oh, thank you so much, Joseph. PrEP is our PragerU Resources for Educators and Parents group on PragerU.com. And essentially what it is it is a $25 membership that you can donate once a year, and it funds the creation of all of our PragerU Kids videos. We cannot do any of this creating videos at PragerUkids.com to give to you for free for kindergarten through 12th grade to educate your children with knowledge, with values, with history, now with financial literacy with one of our shows called Cash Course. Our new episode is out now. I've pulled up Cash Course on the screen for you to see. We've got episodes about student loans, using credit card versus debit cards, financial institutions, checking and savings accounts. We cannot create any of these shows to educate our children and equip them to have fulfilled, productive lives as American citizens without your support. We are a nonprofit. Everything we do is based on donations. So we appreciate all of our donors. And thank you, Joseph, for saying that you can join our $25 a year membership to help do that in a very small but mighty way. There is no donation that's too small. We appreciate all of it because it all goes to good use. I want to thank you for all of your comments. I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank all of the parents who are educating our children. And most also importantly, I want to thank the teachers who are in our schools trying to hold the line and maintain standards so that our children can be educated in an academic way first, right? This weekend, if you are listening live, this weekend is Memorial Day. Thank you does not even begin to communicate how much we all appreciate the men and women who have given the ultimate sacrifice for our country, for our freedoms, for our ability to speak freely. As I just read a comment that vehemently disagreed with all of us here, but people fought and died for our right to be able to publicly and vehemently disagree with one another. And that is a value that I do not take for granted, and no one here at PragerU takes for granted. And I know that countless people do not take that for granted as well. And we thank our fallen soldiers. We thank their families. We thank all who fight for freedom. This Memorial Day, I encourage you to take a moment with your kids and say a prayer. Give them a little bit of education in an age-appropriate way about what this holiday is about. Yes, we have barbecues. Yes, it's a 3-day weekend. Yes, everyone likes to, in my community, we have a parade that honors our military, which I'm very excited about, by the way. But take a moment to explain to your children what this holiday means. We have dozens of resources, videos available for you for free on our website. A video that sticks out to me for the older kids on PragerU.com is The Fallen Soldier, and it's narrated by Jocko Willink, if you know him. Tough guy, great guy. Show that to your older kids. For your younger kids, we have an age-appropriate Otto's Tales episode and book that you can purchase on Amazon about visiting Arlington National Cemetery. And it's, Otto the Bulldog and Smidge the kitten, and they travel to Arlington National Cemetery, and they really do meet, they meet new friends and understand the importance of the soldiers who have fought and died for freedom. And we have all of these for free on PragerUKids.com for your families. Even if it's just 5 minutes, please take time to do that this weekend. Our heroes who were never able to come home deserve it. And I'm not going to get emotional, but I'll get emotional afterwards. Thank you to all of you who continue to support us. And we wish you a beautiful and meaningful Memorial Day. And we additionally continue to encourage you to stand up for your children's education, speak out for not lowering standards, and stay informed with what is happening in our education system across the country. Because if we don't try to save our school system, we're not going to have a country for very much longer. Okay, I'm going to say so long, farewell. Thank you all. See you next time.